Hello, everyone. This is Faheem Jackson, and it's episode 59 of my podcast show, In the Know. This is a short form podcast show which is aimed at putting people in the know with a variety of topics using my experiences and viewpoints in life to put people in the know. Now, you may ask yourself, what is the know? Is using my understanding of these experiences to make your life a lot easier. The following is an intro speech into the topic of today, and that introduction speech is regarding us being better than our letter grade in school. In school, I was the student who had a B average. And to be honest, I never thought of myself as being someone who was relegated to the grade I received in school. Now, my mother always wanted my sisters and myself to maintain our grades, so there was anxiety there consistently. But for me, it never was important as some people make it out to be. But there are people who into something major. If they don't get the good grades, it says a lot about their future in school and society. Now that I am an adult, I've realized that the idea of you and not getting good grades are such a small overall connection to your success in life. As a matter of fact, most of the leaders in organizations were not high GPA students. So let's look at a little closer at this idea of grades and our overall cognitive abilities as it pertains to the grade. Are you smarter than the grades you receive in school? What is SMART? Let's look at something. Specific measurement of aptitude and repeatable training. We're going to use that acronym, the acronym that I just named, which is SMART. This is going to be something we use to observe why one may be smart. This idea of smarts, where does it come from? How and who decides what smart is? Why is it important to be smart? Well, let's first look at the definition of what smart is. This is someone who is sharp, witty, a person who learns in a quick manner, a thinker whose mental capabilities express a good level of intelligence. Now, why is this important in an education capacity? Well, it's because in schools, we have a way of ranking students. And how do you appropriately rank your students without separating the more intelligent students from the pack? Well, you have to use a variety of techniques in class. Let's look at courses as it pertains to SMART. When your students are in the course, you have to observe how well they perform overall. And then you take that course and combine it with the other courses that they take part in to come to an overall consensus about their smarts. You can't just look at one class because some kids are good in one class and not good in others. But then again, just because you're not a good student, just because you're a student that is good in all classes don't mean you're overall bad or good. How does this decision take effect? Let's observe the educator for a moment. The educator. In the classes you take in school, you will have a school teacher or professor observing your work. They will be looking at how well you're able to handle the course material. And from here, they would derive who in the class is the smarter of the students. For the longest, it has been relegated to the grade. But it's more than just the grade because what about lecture situations? Some students are more conversational than others. So, since you're good in mathematics, you may not be good in English, yet you're still smart. And the literature students might be better here than science. We put more of the emphasis on math and science because these courses are more necessary in our world today. Now, how does the student see themselves through all of this? And that's where we come to the students. Well, when you're in the classroom, the students observing each other in the class, and the students who have the best grades, they are being watched. The students in class that also will be volunteering will be seen as someone who is engaged enough in the course that even when they're wrong, they aren't afraid to do so and self-correct. When it comes time to pick groups in class, these kids will be on a list that most will want to work with on projects. And if you're that lucky kid to be chosen by your peers, then guess what? It says a lot about how productive you are. Now, if you're not one of these kids, then you may feel a certain way, but that's just the facts of life. Let's look at GPA as it pertains to being smart. In school, the grade point average is combining all the grades and calculating on the basis of averaging these grades using the credits in addition to the letter grade. So for me, I was a B student, and that for the most part meant I could always find a group to work with in school. Was it always the best group? No, but I was above average, so I still was in the game. And being in the game is a good space to be when you want to be in the running for groups. In addition to this, I also was a student who had no problem presenting in class, so that made me a valuable asset in the classroom. Let's look at comprehension. What makes you such a smart person is the ability to be able to hear the material and then bring it out in class to make it work for you. Because when you're able to easily understand the course material, you can do more than most students. Well, if you're not that student, how do you get to the point in life? For instance, with me, I became a better student as I got older. And the reason is because my mind started to wonder a lot more. I became more and more curious about the world around me. This will aid in the growth of the mind so that you are easily able to understand when you're learning something. This will contribute to your mental base. Let's look at your callback ability. Ever been watching a television show such as like Jeopardy, and then when the question is asked, you immediately answer and get it correct? This is because you have been reading and learning for years. Your base is lodged within your mind, and the people who are able to access the information are still unknown. But it is a base nonetheless. This is something that makes you a very smart person. What about the perspective that one possesses? When I watch television, especially in this climate, I have an ability to look at things from both sides of the coin, and this is something you would think that so many people possess this ability. Yet, we are not receptive to hearing information that goes against what we seek to believe to be true. The facts don't even matter as long as it continues to go against the belief system. Now, me on the other hand, in the face of facts, I'm not fighting against the truth. This type of thought process contributes significantly to someone being smart because you can look at the world with an objective eye from the mind of a species that looks at the world so subjectively. The ability to use. As you learn in life, not just in school, you have to understand how to use the information that you have in your mental base. And this is when you take your smarts to make yourself successful. Most people have a hard time taking their base information and applying it to society to make themselves better off. Why don't more people take advantage of their base in life? Or better yet, do people even know they have a base that could be used to make themselves better? And the sad thing is that most don't know this. They are not able to tap in because of extenuating circumstances that hold them from accomplishing this base. This is very unfortunate because how productive would society be if you could help more people tap into their base to be more where they want to be in life? Who decides your smarts? In our world, we have these different measurements for ranking people. And in the case of smarts, who makes the decisions for what is considered smart in our world? One of the measurements we use for this brain capability is the IQ test or the Mensa test. IQ is a way to try to score the person using a variety of standardized tests or subtests for intelligence. The Mensa scores are the oldest means of measuring human intelligence. These are tests monitored in a private setting so that the organization who oversees the test can make sure no cheating is taking place. They want to maintain the integrity of the test and the members into their organization. How do we truly measure it? Now, here's something interesting about being smart. We use grades to measure smarts, overall GPA, the ability to comprehend what we learn, how we apply what we learn, and the ability to build our base of knowledge. That's interesting. What's interesting is that you have these highly intelligent people who never do anything great in society with what they know. Here's what is interesting about those people, because in order for you to be considered successful in society, you have to take risks. That's why the most successful people are actually C students. They don't get the grade in school, but they approach life from fearlessness. To me, there is an inner genius that we don't discuss that lies within the person who doesn't get the grade in school. But we overlook these groups of people because of their academic accomplishments. Can you get better? My response to this is absolutely you can become smarter. And the reason is that even if you are not good in school, you have the ability to make yourself better in life. Trust and believe. What I'm saying, because my ACT score was actually a 17, but I've taken these tests after and scored much higher. Well, you might ask yourself what happened. My curiosity caused me to aim at learning more. What it did was increase my base of knowledge. Through this, I was actually able to have a callback built in when it came time to do things. I could even go all the way back as far as childhood. And with this end statement, why we all have to understand why grades are a small piece of who we are. In school, we are constantly being compared and told how smart we are or the lack thereof. For me, I always prided myself on being a smart person. And the simple reason is because I always had the ability to retain information over a long period of time. Then took that information, using it in order to make myself successful, make life work for me. You also have to do the safe. You also have to do the safe, which to me is an aspect of anyone who is smart, using your life experiences and things you learn in order to make your life work for you. So as long as you're living your life and make yourself better day by day with what you've learned, then you're smart. Thanks for listening to In the Know. I can't wait to bring the next episode where we talk about why we don't push greatness out of the children in school.